ụlọ nsọ gị Chukwu ka ị na-abata, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Anya bịawa ịsọpụrụ gị ugbu a, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Chukwu nna n'ụlọ gị ka ị na-akpọ gị, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Otito na-adịrị gị mgbe niile, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya.
Otito niile dịrị Chineke, ọbasi dị elu, Chukwu obiọma, Chidi ebere, Olisa nwa amara, ka ụzọ anyị niile ọbụla niile bụrụ ihe, ka ihe ọbụla kpatara aka bụrụ sọ mma, ka ụwa niile site n'ozi ọma anyị a nwụsị obi aṅụrị taa mgbe niile ebighị ebi. Ọfọ ya gazie ise. All praises to Chi, the creator of the supreme being, Chi the good, Chi the merciful, Chi the magnificent with grace. Let everywhere of our lives be light. Let all our acts be crowned with good. And may the word prosper from our ministry now and forever. So let it be. Amen.
And so it is. Dibia.
Okay, man.
Mama. Welcome. Well,
yeah.
you know, I tell you, trying to survive in this crazy world we live in. My goodness. I mean, it's what nuts. Is going on? I'm like, Chineke, come on now, step in. We are losing our minds. We are losing our minds. Humanity is just going every which way. I mean, it's like nobody's in charge. It's like nobody is in charge. What is going on? But anyway, Chineke is there. Chineke is there. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And wherever you are, I look forward to having individuals join us today, because we have a very, very important show today, UD. Very important show. I kind of, the topic today is quite an emotional one. And let me greet one person who's joined us. Moke Charles. Ndewo, welcome, my dear son. How are you? I hope all is well with you, in spite of what we're hearing going on at home. I'm praying that you're well. And the topic, UD, today is quite, like I said earlier, it's a little bit emotional for me, because it has to do with young children again. You know, when things happen in the world, unfortunately, children are mostly the ones who suffer the most. And our topic today is the abduction of 303 Catholic school girls from St. Mary's in Niger State, Nigeria. And that's just one of the problems we're having. You know, you've got the situation with the Igbos in the East, who are right now struggling to understand their place in Nigeria. And obviously, you cannot blame them for all the angst, all of that concern is raising. But I think at this point, since we're focusing on these girls, we need to really ask for Chineke to step in. We need to really have a special prayer. Today, I want to offer a special prayer for all Nigerians who are right now concerned about what's going on with these girls who are missing. This is not the first time. This has happened in the past. I think it was 58 girls. And as a matter of fact, a week before, there were 25 girls. I'm going to make sure I get those figures right. And now we've got as many as 303 girls. So we are asking Chineke to please, Chineke who dwells in all things. Today our hearts are heavy and our souls are seeking your light. To those who are burdened by the loss of lives, the loss of their children, the confusion, the uncertainty, we ask for Chineke to wrap them in gentle embrace. And also, may they feel Chineke's presence. May they feel the presence of their loved ones. Obviously, those who are concerned right now, they have memories and cherished, of course, memories and dreams that they have for these girls. And not knowing where they are, Chineke, please, please keep those babies safe. We ask that you find them, return them home. And those of them, all those parents who are lost in confusion and in stress right now, please, Chineke, grant them clarity. Just like the morning sun breaks through the fog, unfog their minds. May their past be eliminated and their hearts find peace in the rhythm of life. And to find peace in the rhythm of life, they have to have their babies back. Wherever they are, Chineke, please put your loving arms around them. I'm not concerned about what part of Nigeria they're from. They are Nigerian children. They are little girls. And you know what happens to little girls when they're not in the arms of their parents, when they're not under the security of family or authority who will protect them. So we're asking for strength, Chineke, to rise, for strength for them to rise like the mighty baobab tree. May their spirit be rooted in the earth, yet reaching for heavens, touching you. Give them hope. May hope blossom in their hearts as they wait and wonder what has happened to their children. Soak their minds with the rains of the savannah. Let them know it will be all right. I'm a parent, Chineke, and I cannot even begin to imagine if this happened to me, how I would deal with it. So I do know that these parents are struggling right now. So Chineke, please, we beg you, intercede on their behalf. Surround them with community and love. Let the community step in and help them, put their loving arms around them. Let kindness flow to them like a river. Help wash away the pain and the confusion and the stress that they're going through right now. Nurture them of joy in the very, very near future. Give them some ability to be resilient, to understand that you are still in charge and that you will bring their babies back. This is a moment of sorrow, truly. But we want you to remind them when you kick it over. I'm just putting myself in their position. And we just want them to know they're not alone. We're all praying for them. The whole Nigeria is praying for them. All the spirits of the ancestors who have walked before will guide and support them on their journey way back home. With every breath, may they find courage. For those who are able to escape, one young girl escaped. Chineke, since you let that one girl escape, please let the rest of them escape. Please help us. Because for every heartbeat, we want to feel your presence. And let those kidnappers feel your presence too. Stop them in the acts that they're about to engage in. Let them not abuse those little girls. Chineke, we trust in your wisdom. We don't know why this happened. But we want to surrender our worries and them surrender their worries into your care. We believe that you are going to come into the picture. You're not a side of this thing. You're going to solve it. There are 10,000 ancestors per child watching over them, and we are hoping that no harm whatsoever will come to those babies. And if you're not praying for these kids, if you're not concerned for these kids, if you're saying that they are not Igbo, or they're not Yoruba, or they are not this, they are not that, Chineke has a way to swing it around and you experience it. So you want to show compassion for those who experience it so that you don't have to find out the hard way yourself, because what you wish for others comes back to you. So Chineke, we're putting it all in your hands and we are praying for these girls. We just know that you're not going to let them suffer. We just know you're going to provide them with food, with water, with shelter. And you're going to convince these men that have held these little girls that they are too young for what they want to do to them, and y'all know what they're trying to do to those babies. I am praying so hard that those kids will come out intact, because many of them don't. Many of them don't. But we're going to put our trust and faith in the Most High, that all shall be well, that all those babies will return. And so it is. And so it is. Whoo, Yudi. That's a tough show we're doing today.
I mean, I'm just
That's a tough show today.
I'm a point of tears.
I just want to share a little bit, and then we'll have the conversation about what has happened. This is St. Mary's. It's a Catholic girls' school located in Niger State, Papiri. Papiri the place is called Papiri, the city of Papiri, Nigeria, where education actually has traditionally, or historically, if you will, faced challenges due to security concerns, because this is not the first time it's happened. You remember the Chibok girls who were taken several years ago. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing new. It's nothing new. So it's a challenge. But the recent abduction of, this is the greatest number of abduction in one day, 303, because there are 12 teachers. That underscores the ongoing crisis of school safety in the North. But our government knows that. It should be a focus. Now, unfortunately, the people who secure the schools don't have the kind of ammunition to protect them as the kidnappers do. So how do you put people in there who can't fight? How do you put Megadis? Huh? You know, the people who are kidnapping these girls, they come with guns blazing. But we got Megadis, just watchmen, people who watch the gate. How does that keep the girls safe? How does that keep the girl? Now, this attack happened 4 days after 25 students were abducted in Kebbi State. So this already happened just 4 days before. Now, there are many girls' schools in the North. The government should have taken note of that and done something. Now, it's not just a local tragedy, UD. It highlights the broader issues of education, safety, and the impact of these armed groups in Nigeria. If they do it one time, you can expect that it will be done again. So you prepare. What we're trying to do today is to provide an examination, emphatic examination of some of the facts surrounding this incident. And I recognize that this has profound emotional toll on the community as well as the families, mostly the families. Now, I'm not suggesting that the Nigerian government is not trying to do something. That's not the point. The point of the matter is that this has happened before. This is not the first time. The abduction was November 21, the 21st, which was just last Friday. So armed men came into the school late into the night. And according to information that I'm reading, I read a lot of it yesterday, that obviously the personnel, the security personnel was inadequate, and they could not, they were overpowered, and so they gained access into the dormitories where the girls were sleeping. Now, if they are going after those girls, you know why? Either to make them their wives or to rape them. They're not going there to go hug those girls and say, how do you do? No, we know what they're going in there for. The kidnappers, it was obvious that they had planned this. Potentially they've been observing what's going on in the school, who comes in, who comes out, what are the routines of those girls. And they pick at the right time that they knew they'll be successful. That's when they attacked the school. So, it goes without saying that security was inadequate. It's always been inadequate. It's always been inadequate. And if you're trying to, if you know that girls are at risk, those girls' schools should have heavy security. No surveillance, very weak, poor surveillance was in order, was available. And they evidently, from what I'm reading, and what some of my friends in Nigeria told me, there's just no protocol. There's no protocol available. When such a thing happens, what do? What is it that we're supposed to do when such a thing happens? What happens is that, of course, the security will run and leave the girls. So there are no protocols. If we can't subdue them, we got to get out of here. And then those poor girls are left. So the initial response was, some of them, of course, ran. And then there were phone calls, to parents and then phone calls from parents and guardians, and the local authorities were contacted, but it was inadequate. There was too much confusion. That's what I'm saying, is that there's not adequate protocol to follow. It's helter-skelter. Hey, call mama, call papa, call this, do this. Hey, call the police. No coordinated effort. So in that confusion, they were mobilized. So of course, right now you've got the parents are left in, despair, fear, helplessness. How would you feel? Traumatized again, traumatizing the same community, already dealing with the Boko Haram insecurity. So what has the government done? Now they have deployed forces to go after the girls, to find the girls. Okay. And they are investigating and assessing, which is what usually the government would do. But the girls are gone, Yudi.
Yeah.
Even if you find them, many of those babies are already ruined. And everything is slow as always. It's not fast moving. You know how that is. It's not fast moving. There's no sense of urgency. And the government have publicly condemned the abduction, of course, naturally, pledging to ensure the safe return of the girls. We did that with the Chibok girls. We should know by now.
Man, that's it was all planned, man.
The tone of these statements, they say, the lack of urgency and no specific timelines given to the people. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. This is what to expect. And we're going to find these girls. So what are they doing? Okay, they are operations by military police. But see, this is reactionary. And, you know, you've got the search parties going out, you know, the police units, military, but you've got a difficult, Niger, you have a difficult terrain, you know, and not having any information about where the kidnappers are. All that stuff is going to take a lot of time before the girls are found, if ever they're found. There's no reason to believe they will still be in Nigeria. They could be trafficked out. You know about the trafficking of girls. You know, they could be trafficked out. By the time they are found, maybe some of them may be found. But all these delays, you know, and all the bureaucratic inefficiencies, bribery, and, you know, so it's difficult to coordinate anything between the security agencies. And let's not even talk about the fact that this is in a rural area. How do you gather information in the rural areas? That's a big hurdle. And you know that Niger State is plagued right now by armed groups. Did we not know this? Did the government not know this? And they you know, they just walk around. My understanding is, you know, with impunity. Does the military not know? The police no, they don't know where these people are. Yudi, your thoughts?
It's one hard to have any thoughts after, you know, when you think. Let me just put it this way: Nigeria is a failed state. All right. Okay. The kidnapping and all that stuff, you know, those are lipsticks on a pig. Those are the after effects, you know. And unfortunately, you and I now have to sit here and have a conversation about the after effect on something that could have been prevented, right? Unfortunately, Nigeria failed when we attempted our first coup.
Yeah.
We failed. So everything that we built, right, beyond the Islamization, you know, of sub-Saharan Africa by people like Usman Dan Fodio, Ibn Battuta, and all that kind of stuff. The Christianization of us, slavery, colonization, and all that. You could point to a myriad of facts or, you know, reasons why, you know, Nigeria is a failed state, and there's a whole bunch of other failed states in Africa that call themselves a country. But the bottom line is, two things. First of all, if you are going to commit a sin, I don't think you're going to call on the devil to help you not commit the sin, right? You can't do that. So we look at Nigeria now, we look at the authorities, we look at all those people as agencies that are supposed, or that are charged with our protection. They're supposed to, you know, love the community and do the jobs. There's no corruption and all that kind of stuff, even though corruption is an impossible thing, you know, to prevent. But at least if you're doing for the people, nobody really pays attention to your shenanigans, you know, behind and all that kind of stuff. And as long as people's lives are better and they see themselves going up in a trajectory, they don't really look at what you've done. They will praise you and hail you as a king. Excuse me, you do for them, they hail you as a king. Nigeria is a failed state. This was preventable. We will continue doing this, perambulating, you know, dogs chasing its tail forever. You can't solve anything because we don't really want to address the cause of the problem. We always talk about corruption, bad leadership, blah, 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 blah. Just like in the United States, the chaos over here and people looking at the presidency. No, look at yourself. You made the presidency. So whatever country you have now is what you built on lies, on somebody else's idea of socialism, of democracy, of capitalism, somebody else's nation formation, nation building and management strategies based on their own political, cultural, and religious experiences. That's how you build a nation. You have to form it first. We have no idea how to form nations after colonization after we got a so-called independence, which unfortunately the only country right now that has demonstrated any level of independence is Burkina Faso, the Sahels. But all these other people from Kenya to everywhere else, South Africa, Nigeria, that claim independence, no, we're even more enslaved now than we were. At least we knew who the enemy, we identified one enemy, the colonizer. But now the colonizer is the enemy. The West is the enemy. We are the enemy. The governors are the enemy. The commissioners are the enemy. The teachers and professors, the whole population in Nigeria is an enemy unto themselves. We absolutely have no idea how to solve any problem in Africa unless we adopt a pan-African conscious type way of thinking. Loving ourselves first. It starts with self-love. Loving your environment. Loving nature. Loving us. People of this hue. Peter Tosh, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black person, you're an African. I don't care if you're Jamaican, Nigerian, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Muslim, Christian, chaste, whatever. If this is your hue, you face the same racism, the same prejudices all over the world. Nobody sees you as an African, no matter where you are, and says, well, I need to find out before I'm racist against you, before I swear to keep you down for generations, I need to make sure that you're not Nigerian. Because if you're Nigerian, then I ain't messing with black Nigerians. I only want to mess with black Jamaicans or African Americans. It doesn't work like that. Everybody's after your blood. And unless we understand that as people of African ancestry, and let's start trying to figure out how to separate ourselves from this clog in our brain. Like Stephen Biko says, the easiest way to control you is to control your mind. The easiest instrument of control is your mind in the hands of your oppressor. And what you see with the kidnapping, with the Chibok girls, with the so-called corrupt bad leadership, with the political chaos, with the violence, everything that you see right now is because we have not attempted to look inward. Just like Jomo Kenyatta said, or Ahaike Okonyo, look inward. We can solve our own problems. The West can't do it. We can't pray it away. We can't wish it away. Somebody else's ancestor cannot be your own ancestor. You have a lineage. There's so many things that we need to address this problem of kidnapping and raping little girls and all that. And your religion tells you it's okay because you're a Muslim, and the Christians tell you it's okay to murder somebody because you don't follow Jesus. But if you follow Jesus, it don't matter who you rape, it don't matter who you kill, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you are fortunate enough to accept him as your Lord and Savior, all your sins will be forgiven, regardless of how many little girls you've raped, murdered, regardless of how families you've torn apart. Just do this. Jesus is not Nigerian. Muhammad is not from Ghana. And you're wondering why girls are being kidnapped all over the place. You're wondering why you have bad leadership. You're wondering why mayhem has just embraced you. But the evidence is there. Your experiences tell you all you need to know. Your history tells you all you need to know if you dare to study it, if you dare to put it in the schools so that you know where you've been, to be able to figure out where you're going, to understand your current condition. But we're just perambulating. We're like zombies. We're waiting for rain, but we live in the desert. Go to the jungle. Lots of rain over there. Lots of stuff to eat. You don't have to depend on camels. We have problems in Africa, and our problem is not kidnapping. It's not violence. It's not bad leadership. It's not all those things that are affecting your life negatively because of so-called mismanagement. That is not your problem. It's a symptom of a larger problem. If you have a fever, you have malaria. What is your problem, the fever or the malaria? Those are symptoms. Your problem is the mosquito. That's what you have to minimize. You minimize that, How do you do it? You get rid of maybe standing water that you have all over the places, all over the place. Maybe if you go to the village where they have, some ponds and streams that move and all that kind of stuff, you don't really have standing water problems, even though you got mosquitoes and all that in the village. But in the cities, it's a different thing altogether. But we have a larger problem in Africa, in Nigeria, and that problem is lack of self-awareness, lack of courage.
Well, good points. The one thing that you want to throw in there, to be sure, and let me just give our president, if I may give him a little credit. He can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, the president is not attending the G20 summit this year because he's focusing on the security of events, and his vice president is attending in his place. My question, however, is this: why does it take this to happen again for us to focus on security?
Thank you.
Why, I mean, is it to look that we're doing? Listen, this is a money-making thing for a lot of these people.
It's a business.
They kidnap, and most parents don't want to lose their children, so they kidnap and they ask for money, right?
And they ask for money.
And my understanding, Dibia, do you know that they asked for, I believe it's they asked for $65,000 per child. Now,
from which parent?
Yeah, the poor parents. From the poor parents. So if you can't come up, it even goes to tell you the mindset of the people. If you're going to kidnap somebody who makes $30 a day, then you can't ask for $65,000. It ain't gonna happen. You're not serious.
Kidnappers are uneducated themselves. They have no idea. They're not even interested. You know why? Because if they know what they're talking about, it is because in the end, when they release those girls, it's not going to be because the parents or the community paid the ransom. It's going to be because the government pays the ransom. Yeah, like our leaders, like Ukuna is saying, yeah, like our leaders don't know what they're doing. They know they're the part of the whole thing that we talked about.
That's what is saying.
It's a cabal. It's a cartel.
It's a pattern.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. And the guns that the kidnappers use is supplied by the government officials, the rich people, those people that own the cattle, who get their guns from West. They don't get it from. They don't get their guns.
Where are they getting these guns?
They're not getting it from ISIS. They're not getting it from Iran. They're not getting it from Iraq. After all, a lot of those guns, look at them. They're all Western machines and Russian guns. All right. These are American weapons and Russian weapons and European. They're all part of the destabilization to keep us messed up. That's what I'm saying. We are approaching this problem the wrong way. We're not looking. Our father said, look beyond the microscope. We are not looking at the problem. Or we know what the problem is. We are the problem. We refuse to look at it because it's going to point to us, which in the end, Nigeria cannot be constituted the way it is right now. It needs 3 separate states: Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo. If we have that, we will not be worrying about Boko Haram coming to kidnap people in Igbo land, because we will have our own army. We'll be ready. We'll protect our borders. But we're under the auspices of the Nigerian government that is part of the cabal. I don't care if the Nigerian president has decided to do something. He should have done something the first day when he was sworn into office. It ain't like this problem of insecurity did not exist before he became president. First, they started by stealing it from the Igbo man. And then when they stole it, he's not president. Then what? Like you said, we have to go through this kidnapping again for us to see what, because there's going to be a third time, there will be a fourth, there will be a fifth. It ain't going to end because we keep doing the same damn thing without facing the real issue being brave enough to talk about it. There's corruption, bad leadership, the supply the bandits with weaponry. We know all that. The West is also part of it. We know all that. But that is not a problem. Those are symptoms of a larger problem, which is us.
Now, the insecurity, just like Nwakedi is in Nigeria right now, so he knows what's going on. And he says it's a political thing, and I agree. And that's why we can never succeed as a country. That's true. If we're not going to address those basic things, if we're going to use insecurity as a political thing, you know, you have politicians that are using the insecurity to run for office, then it's never going to get better. You know, and Nigerians themselves, we need to start getting vocal about this. We need to start saying, hey, enough already. We can't just talk about it, you know, in the forums and all. We absolutely must engage the government. We must engage the government.
Necessary. By any means necessary. We can't just sit around anymore.
We have to engage. You know, we have to engage. We can't. You know, at this time, according to what I'm hearing, they don't have anyone, you know, who has identified any particular group. You know, in the past, Boko Haram will come out and say that they were responsible for this, but they don't have a particular group that has claimed responsibility, which is kind of making it difficult, you know. But I think given that everybody knows that security has always been a problem, the president of Nigeria and his whole administration should have made security front and center.
The bandits got more guns than the Nigerian army.
Yeah, but well, they said that a lot of these the abductions, you know, that they're targeting, you know, weak areas that they know, and these are like gangs. You know, they know that the government is not really focused. That's why I said earlier that, you know, it's like the casing a place. So to know, okay, what are the activities that happen there? What is the level of security? Well, they found out there's very little security, you know. So the ransom business is big business, and quite frankly, I'm wondering, are the rich people participating in that?
Yeah,
not just the politicians. Not just the politicians. I think
in Europe over kidnapping, they do it.
They're kidnapping these girls and sending them abroad.
They're
you know,
it.
You know,
they're part of it. Senators, Congress people in Africa, they're all part of it in Nigeria.
They're all part of this. They're part of this. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. And my biggest thing is these you know, when girls are raped, it's not something that you forget. It's not something that they forget. It's not something, hey, I'm home now, everything is okay. It's a lifelong trauma. It's a lifelong trauma. Okay, you know, and this is the kind of thing that if the government is interested in the citizens, particularly these girls that are targeted all the time, that's the weakest link. You know that. You know where these schools, particularly up north, you know that these are girls' schools and you don't have enough security. You know insecurity up north is an issue. Boko Haram, all of them, the gangs, you know that. About 10 years ago, if you look at a span of 10 years, over 1,500 students have been abducted, majority girls. That should be of concern to any government. If I was a leader in Nigeria, that would be my first concern. What kind of security can we provide these schools? Now, I'm not just saying it happens to girls, but it happens to schools. Period.
Yep.
Now we have all this conversation about Christians are mostly the victims, and because of that, Donald Trump has indicated that he's coming to Nigeria to save. Listen, while Christians are among the victims,
they're killing more Muslims.
Muslims are predominantly up north. So the majority of those victims are not Christian.
Yeah.
Majority of northerners are not Christian, they are Muslims. So majority of those who are being victimized are not Christian. They are Muslim.
Say it
You know,
again.
no,
Say
in
it
other
again.
words,
You need to say that again.
it's important that we're not just picking, and that's it, divide and conquer.
That's
I
it.
don't think
The religion thing.
yeah, it's the religious thing. I read where people are saying, "Oh, you know, we Christians, you know, let it come."
I mean,
And
I've had enough of these Christians, man.
if you're
Carry me there.
concerned,
Real.
if you're concerned about the Christians, you should be concerned about the Muslims. You should be concerned about the traditionalists. You should be concerned about every Nigerian. You can't just determine whose lives are better and more important for the rest of the world to come and save.
Kill the Muslims, save the Christians. I mean, come on.
Everyone. You know, these are, I'm not Muslim, but these are Muslim girls that are missing. It concerns me.
Yeah, they're human beings.
Girl, period. I don't care what their religion is.
Make it a
and we need to have, we need to stop having, and that's what bothers me. You know, we need to stop having selective anger
and outrage, selective outrage.
You know, if it's Christians that are being accosted, you know, victimized, then hey, then they let the world come.
What about the Muslims?
And then when the Muslims are being, you know, victimized, crickets. These are Nigerians, period. And the
Muslims
world
are the bad guys. The Christians are the good guys. That's the narrative.
They need to stop that narrative. Stop trying to divide Nigeria. Nigerians should see this as a cause for Nigeria, not for Christians, not for Muslims. These babies don't care that they're Muslim and all of that, because that's what their parents are. These are innocent little girls. And these babies are going to be raped. I know that. That's what gets me angry. They're going to be tortured. These are little 12-year-olds.
You just have to cry about it. You just have to be tearful and just cry about this. My heart is so freaking heavy because I'm just sitting here just thinking about it. What are these poor little girls going to do right now? No mom, no dad, nobody to protect them. They just are here and the messes of these monsters. And the monsters I'm talking about is not even the people that did the kidnapping. It's all those people that are behind it, from the West to the politicians to everybody that is complicit. All these idiots that are part of this. I'll stop right now. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel you. I mean, I'm so overwhelmed by the number. I mean, no number is little. I mean, a week, 4 days before this was just 25 girls. I think it was 25 girls. You know, just 4 days before. Now you're talking about 300. UD, oh my God, 300 little girls.
Really, why should we in Africa have to be the one? How many times have somebody busted up into an English school, kidnapped 3 girls just to go and rape them? 300 girls. How many times have it happened in Belgium? Right? Unless you're doing World War II or some crap like that. How many times has that happened in damn Spain? Okay, is it happening in Japan or in China? Is it in Korea? Where is it going on? All these people that have been Christianized and Islamized by these lunatics in the Arab world and these Westerners. Look at South America and look at Africa. These are the only 2 places that people will barge into a school, kidnap people, and murder them mercilessly like their lives don't mean nothing, right? And we're the Catholics and we are the Muslims, we are the idiots that adopt all this nonsense that is destroying us. Every day we talk about Boko Haram. Every day we talk about ISIS. Every day we talk about the cartel.
And we know the government knows about it.
And the
government is aware of these people.
Part of it. Even the cartels in Mexico, they are powerful because the government officials in Mexico are the ones helping to fund the goddamn cartels and giving protection. Same thing in Nigeria. The politicians are protecting the kidnappers because the kidnappers are paying the money. It's big business. The arms dealers are also making money from arming Boko Haram. So no matter what you do, no matter how you look at it, we are under siege. And the only person that can save us is us, because the people that we look up to save us are the same people that are giving it to us. Yeah. So how stupid is that?
Yeah, you know, and you notice that the communities that are impacted are those communities that are less likely to fight back.
Yeah, the
You know,
weak.
very weak. You
Always
know,
pray.
these farmers don't have access to such weaponry, and these little girls in these little schools, you know, they're not even big schools. They're little tiny schools, you know, and you just walk in there and just snatch little. I
Trust
mean,
me,
300.
the government will
Oh
pay
my
that.
God.
The government will pay that ransom in the billions of naira, and most of it will go back into the pockets of the same people that paid the ransom for the kidnappers. Because you know good and well, 300 and something girls, their parents ain't got the money to pay it in some
Of
rural
course
school.
not.
They're not going to raise 65,000 in dollars for each
Of course
child.
not.
It's not
Can
going
you
to happen.
imagine that? Can
So
you
the reason
imagine
why
that?
they ask for that is simple. If you want those girls, the government will have to pay it because they understand the politics involved. They understand the what do you call it, the optics of it all, and they're going to play it. Just like the Chibok girls they released. You think they just released them because the United States said something? Because Michelle
No.
Obama came out there. Somebody paid somebody some money. All right? It was all a ploy. All that the Chibok girls was not an accident. Let's not even get confused. Black folks even think that that kidnapping happened just because Boko Haram got up one day and decided to kidnap them girls. They knew exactly what they were doing. It was all geared towards Jonathan to mess him up so that he
But
does not become president again. Because they were doing under Jonathan's government, Nigeria paid off its foreign debt.
yes.
Iwala was the
Ngozi
finance.
Ngozi Wala. That's right.
So
Yeah.
it's a whole lot going on here. But we discuss it, and when I say we, I ain't talking about us, because here in Cheers in Life, we tell it like it is. Okay, we draw no curtains. It is what it is. You want the truth? You come get it right here. Cheers in Live. And the truth of the matter is, the Chibok thing was a ploy to discredit Jonathan so that he is not president and bring in Buhari. And Buhari was the guardian for the West just to continue to guard, make sure the country does not progress. What did Buhari do as president? Were there not people being kidnapped while he was president? Were there not more kidnappings of girls while he was president?
This is Mokedi says that our leaders in the north are defending them. It's a Tofiakwa situation. We're not serious
We're
as
not
a country.
serious. It's just not a country, and I'm tired of sitting around talking about I'm a Nigerian, talking about like Nigerian is some blessed country that I got to do something with. That place ain't been blessed since the damn Civil War or since it was formed. It's been one case after another. You have a little bit of stability, then some crap coming. After the Civil War.
You know, in all
Uh,
fairness to Nigeria, what the picture of Nigeria, and I want to be clear on that, are they? Because I don't want you know. Sometimes, unfortunately, when people talk about Nigeria, they talk about Nigerians. No, Nigerian people are good people. Nigerian people are good people. The leadership is allowing this to happen because it didn't start today. This has been going on so long that it should have become a priority. Leadership should have a priority. This is the country. You know, you have to make sure that people are well fed. You have to make sure that they have access to gasoline, housing, all of that. Security should be number one because none of those other things matter if there's no security.
and that's the
But if
first
security is money is murky, is because it's being used for money-making purposes. You know, the kidnappers who are asking, when somebody is asking $65,000, I'm sorry, I don't think it's just that little kidnapper that's asking that. Somebody's telling them to ask that for that kind of money, so it can be split. Now, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine a little kidnapper asking for $65,000. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
Okay, check this out.
Yeah.
I think it was Indonesia, Malaysia, one of them areas.
Yeah.
You know, they got the Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, they got all this multicultural kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. you know,
Yes.
even more than the United States, because over there, it don't matter what your religion is. They better not hear you talk about it in public or even be discriminatory. That's jail for you right there.
Yeah,
Okay?
you can't
All right.
discriminate.
You
Yeah.
can't do all that stuff. Listen, and for them to achieve that, a few hairs had to roll. They had to let you know they were serious. They were going to do the nation formation their way. They were going to form that nation. Look at Malaysia today. Remember, Malaysia and Nigeria got independence at the same. In fact, Malaysia, I think, got it in 1961, something like that. Look at them. And the reason was simple. You have to make a decision. And that decision is either you're a country or you're not. Okay? We have not made a decision. When Nigeria fought that civil war, they told us no victors, no vanquish. And we started off thinking, it's all good. But we knew right away it never was good. Right? In Nigeria. Nigeria was never going to be that country. It never was going to be that country. We have no responsibility as leaders in Africa to give a damn about our own citizens because we're not Pan-Africans. We don't understand this community love thing, communalism, community love. We don't understand that because we have built a castle on sand, foreign religion, foreign law, foreign social ethics, foreign moral values, foreign politics, economic system. We have built Africa on sand. Now, the sand is porous, so the water is going through it. Suddenly, you find out you never had a foundation. A tree is never going to be taller than its roots. It never will be. But that's what we're doing.
But you know, and Dibia, and the other thing is the focus on money. The focus on money. The way these people operate. I want to share a screen. Okay, I want to share a screen. Let me share a screen here. What the kind of things that they have access to. Okay, the kind of things that they have access to, you wonder, my goodness, hold 1 second. Where do they get this money? Where do they get it? Now, I want you to look at this.
Yeah.
This is.
It just looks like South American drug cartels.
Look at that. Look at that. Where are they getting this kind of money?
Somebody built
Where are they getting the money to buy these Jeeps?
And then build it. And then paint it. I mean, it's a whole freaking squadron of the damn thing.
Look at that.
Right.
No wonder it's easy. It's easy to kidnap. This is up north. I think people need to understand this is happening up north.
If those people roll into your village, how are you going to stop them?
How do you stop this?
You know, but those arms they have, who's supplying it? The cars, the guns, everything, the bullets, the West supplies it. Nigeria has a lot of resources, just like you got in Burkina Faso and all that. And then we have a port. Okay, Nigeria in sub-Saharan Africa is very strategic. And for it to be relevant and useful to the West, it cannot be stable. And we don't seem to understand that. We have never made any political decision in Nigeria that had anything to do with love for the people. We can't even, I mean, there was
Did you see what these people operate with? Did you see that?
Yeah.
How in the world, where are they getting that?
We know.
Now remember, now I think it's important for people to know that the border up north borders other countries, right? Where a lot of these people, a lot of these criminals are not even Nigerian. I think it's important to know that.
Yeah,
they are being used.
Fulanis from Niger and all that.
That's right. A lot of them are not Nigerians.
Mauritania.
You know, does the United States have anything to do with the guns that we're getting? We don't, you know.
Yeah, all of them. Israel too.
Who are involved here? I don't know. But my goodness, these people, how can they have, are they building those Jeeps? Are they building those jeeps in Nigeria? No. That's why I want to make sure that we understand this is not just, Nigeria is a prosperous nation, and it is not in the best interest of outsiders that Nigeria is secured and peaceful, because it has too many resources that people want.
Especially this.
It's brain there thing. You know, and because they put us to sleep with their religion, they put us to sleep with their education, they put us to sleep while we're so busy thinking about outside ourselves. They're coming in. And listen, if you look at what I just showed you, we are not producing those jeeps in Nigeria. You would come on. Where's it coming from?
We have innocent motors, but no jeep.
This is not innocent motors.
Exactly. So
it's not.
That's the point.
There's nobody in Nigeria that's building that.
Building the cars for them, except they're getting it
from. Where is it coming? And it's coming from where you have the borders.
Yeah.
Where we are, Nigeria is bordering other countries.
Yeah.
So it's porous.
And
so
the ocean.
That's why it's coming in, and they're paying outsiders to come in and then giving Nigeria a bad name. Those are not Nigerians. Those are paid by our politicians to come and create that chaos in Nigeria. Those are not Nigerians, and they'll tell you. They don't speak Nigerian. Some of them maybe, yes, but a lot of them are not. A lot of them are coming from outside of the country and being paid heavily to create this.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
You know, and then now you know, my fear right now is that, yes, you know, you want our resources, and then there's this lie about the fact that it's Christians being killed.
It's a lie.
That's a lie. I mean, that's not to say no. Let me correct myself. That is not to say that that's not happening.
Everybody getting killed
in the way they're saying it.
And more Muslims.
The people who are coming and hurting the Christians, these are foreigners. A lot of them are foreigners.
And they're the ones pushing the narrative, making everybody think that it's a war on Christians.
Yes, it's a war. And the people coming and hurting Christians, they are from outside of Nigeria.
And that's what the West needs. That's all they need. The West, all they need to hear. The West, all they need to hear is, "Oh, you're killing Christians." They say, "Oh, here's our excuse to come in and keep you."
And the Christians themselves, Christians should stand on their own and say, "No, we can handle this. We can have a national dialogue. We need to, if you want Nigeria to succeed."
No, because their doctrine tells them that it's not their fault that they're sinners. It's the devil. It's somebody else. The Christian is never taking credit for their own inadequacies and sin. They got to blame somebody. And as long as you keep blaming somebody for your wickedness, ain't nothing going to change.
The people who are coming there, you're right. The people who are coming there, they are plants. Just like Sovereign said, they're plants. Yeah. They're put there purposefully to create all this havoc.
The chaos.
Most Nigerians are peaceful people, and I want to make sure that whoever is watching this understand that this is up north where majority are Muslim, not Christian. Now there is the incidents where Christians are harmed, but Muslims are harmed.
More.
Traditionalists are harmed. So Nigerians are harmed. And we need to understand that we need to look at it from the perspective of what's hurting us, all of us, not divide and conquer. I was reading on Facebook. This young woman was just going on and on. Let them come and kill these Muslims. Let them. I say, no. Don't say that. You don't need another country to come into your country and kill your people. These are your people. Until Nigeria is divided into different countries, those are your country people. Like it or not. Northerners are part of Nigeria. Like it or not. And I say to Northerners, Easterners are part of Nigeria. Westerners are part of Nigeria.
Yep.
You understand? Until we are no longer one Nigeria, we are Nigerians, and we should not tolerate any part of our citizens being traumatized and killed in the name of a lie. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's not, you know, I'm not a Christian and I'm not a Muslim. I'm a Nigerian. Until Nigeria is no longer one country, then I can take sides. I can say, okay, I'm not a Nigerian anymore. But until then, I am. And we cannot continue to be divided, to hate each other. This is how nations die.
Yeah.
This is how nations die. You know?
It's dying really fast too.
Now, this is today is the U.S. Officially going to war with Venezuela. It began today. Flights have been canceled. Okay. Oh, well, that's a whole different story now. Ooh, I got it done.
After that, I guess the next one
You
is
know, when I said the prayer today, I prayed for everybody going through trauma, wherever they are. God, you know what to do. You need to, you know, take the wheel. Lord have mercy. Take the wheel, Chineke. Take the wheel, because we're driving off a cliff.
We're at the bottom of the cliff. We've been at the bottom of a cliff for so the accident happened a long time ago. We don't crash them, man. We just burned up in there.
We need to pray for humanity, because let me tell you why. What happens in Venezuela, in Ukraine, in Russia, in Africa, in everywhere. Why it bothers me? Because this world is connected. Okay, we're interconnected, whether we like it or not. What happens in one place can reach you.
Of course, it happened in World War II.
Look, anyone who thinks they are safe because they live here or live, no, that mess will find its way to you. Remember when there was a HIV/AIDS? It went around the world. COVID went around the world. It didn't matter where you were at. We all had to wear masks everywhere around. This mess that's going on right now, we are all going to be impacted in one way or the other. So there's no way that it's okay to think it's all right for Christians to be saved while Muslims die, or Muslims saved while Christians die, or indigenous people, etc., etc., etc. The country of Nigeria needs to make up its mind what it wants to do about Nigeria. Nigeria will never, you can have all the money you want, right? When war finds you, it don't matter how much money you have.
Nope.
When climate change happens, it doesn't matter how much you have. When the floods come, it doesn't matter. All of us will experience the nightmare of all of this wars, all of these chaos, all over the world. It's all over the world.
We're experiencing it right now. I mean, we live abroad. Most of us have lived abroad because our home country is, you know, is messed up. It's not stable at all. Securities, medical.
Where is this stable? That's why I want to make it clear that I want people to understand. Don't walk around here and say, "Oh, they're Africans, they're Nigerians." No, baby. Because it's crazy here in America too. It's crazy in Ukraine. It's crazy in Russia.
Venezuela.
Everywhere. Venezuela. Mexico. Where is this safe?
Mexico is crazy.
Where?
I mean,
it's crazy everywhere.
And murders.
So the only way anything can work is for us to look at each other, look in the mirror and say that we are one Nigeria. Why we are one Nigeria? While we are one Nigeria, we should be concerned about the well-being of all Nigerians. All Nigerians. Now, if you start attacking one part only, then don't be shocked. You know what Dad said? If somebody's beating you with a stick, right?
Mm.
Either you pick up, take away that stick and turn around and beat that person, or you're just going to be beaten to death.
Yep. It's a choice.
It's a choice you have to make. So if we are being traumatized if any part of Nigeria is being traumatized by another part of Nigeria, then that part that's being traumatized has every right to defend itself.
Of course.
That's human. That's it. And if you don't expect that, then you are a fool. If you don't expect a group to fight back, then you're a fool, because they will do that. That's human nature. But what's important right now, however, is that we look at the country Nigeria and say, which way Nigeria? Not which way Hausa, not which way Igbo, not which way Yoruba, which way Nigeria. Now, if the Igbos don't want to be a part of Nigeria, then they have every right. If they're not getting what they're supposed to get, then they have every right to move on. Yoruba, Hausa land, whatever. But if we say we're one Nigeria, then we must make sure that Nigeria is livable and workable for all Nigerians.
You could be in Nigeria, but you cannot rule Nigeria. You're not part of Nigeria. We don't appreciate you enough as being part of Nigeria for you to have any whimsical wish that you will ever ascend to the presidency. You can stay within our borders and we treat you like crap, but you can never aspire to the presidency. But you're a citizen and you can vote. And you can vote for the whoever, but you can't vote for the Igbo man. You can't vote for anybody from the east. You can't vote for anybody from the southeast. But you could vote for the northerner. You could vote for the westerner.
Even to open up their mouths and say that, therein lies the friction.
Yeah,
you know, the conflict. How can you say that a Nigerian cannot be president if they came from a part of Nigeria? You know, that doesn't make sense. You can't.
I don't want me to complain.
You can't generate peace.
Yeah, you don't want me to complain.
Generate peace.
You want me to just accept it?
Nobody can accept that.
How do you say? Accept your slavery or your slave status, because that's what you are. You could set up your businesses up north. You could set up your businesses in the West. You could set up your business in the United States, and you could set it up in Europe, Asia. You could trade and do all that stuff outside. You can be the mayor of Dublin, Ireland. You can even be a mayor in Canada. You're an Igbo person. You're a Nigerian. You can do all those things. But mama nulo apwezi, almost obutu, excuse me. Nobody out in the village. We as Igbo people, while we're being marginalized and maligned in Nigeria, we get the same allocation from the federal government. But we haven't found it in our own mind as Igbos.
Well, that's another topic. We're gonna have a topic to address that specific.
Yeah, I just said that because of what just came up in the thing, but I'm going to. We'll talk about it next time. But the point simply is this.
Yes.
Please, you can only solve this kidnapping problem. All that stuff can only be solved if we split Nigeria. I don't want to hear about if we decide to work together. It's not going to happen. We've never been able to. And we know why. Tribalism, religion, the fact that the West aligns with our emotional outbursts, but when push comes to shove, they actually align with the people that we're crying about, the Muslim part of Nigeria. Think about that for a second. It happened after the Civil War. We were the Christians, but the British were supporting the Muslims. We just need to break away to solve these kidnapping things. We need our own country, because independent nations that manage themselves correctly don't have these kinds of problems, unless it's stemmed in racism or tribalism, but never political or economic, which kidnapping is. It's an economic function. You don't kidnap somebody without getting something. And when it comes to this kinds of stuff, you kidnap them for something. Either you want them to be making babies for you or something, but there's an ulterior motive to everything. But if we want to solve this kidnapping problem, if we want to solve this South Sudan, North Sudan, if we want to solve these problems, then some people don't need to be together as a country. South Sudan need to break away from North Sudan. And actually, I agree that they are different, not because they're not Sudanese, but they are different because the South is Christian and the North is Muslim, and neither the North or the South who proclaim or who profess these foreign religions have these heroes coming from their own neighborhood. Because Jesus is not from South Sudan and Muhammad is not from Northern Sudan. Jesus is not from Igbo land. Muhammad is not from Hausa land in Nigeria. So until we just decide that we're going to love one another, care for our citizens first, before anything else, unless we're Pan-African in our thinking, we need to split up, and we need to do it now, because the end result is going to be what you see in Darfur right now. People starving, children dying. You think Nigeria has a population of damn near 300 million people in it. I don't think that you want to see that kind of genocide happening in a place like Nigeria. It'd be too many people dying twice as fast as in Darfur. They don't have our population. Nigeria is a fifth of Africa in population. So an event like Sudan in Nigeria is going to be more devastating and catastrophic. Not just the human suffering, but economically too.
But let's focus on what can be done by us as Nigerians to prevent these kidnappings. What do we say to our government?
Listen.
We're not talking about violence. We're not going to go there.
No. Let me finish what I'm trying to say. Even I said you can't turn the other cheek. So it's not a question of violence or no violence. It's a question of, are you going to keep doing this? Are you going to keep waiting for the government to help you? Who are the same people?
The point. It has to be strategic. It has to be strategic. It has to be strategic. You know, anything that will help Nigeria right now has to be strategic. Even how to deal with the government has to be strategic.
Yeah,
but
like
that strategy has to come. That strategy has to come from the people themselves. They have to have a national dialogue to discuss where do we go from here. See, you have to have buy-in. Anything you do, there has to be buy-in, right?
Let me say this.
No, wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
When things are wrong, when the fire is going, there may be temptation to pour gasoline on the fire. The fire is raging right now. We need to figure out, as Nigerian citizens, both at home and abroad, what direction do we go to put out this fire? This fire that's consuming our children, consuming our girls. How do we put it out? But it's going to take, because you can say, oh, do this and do that. If there's no buy-in, it's not going to work. I don't care what it is. So Nigerians have to make up their minds.
They ain't going.
This is what has happened. This is what's happening here. Now Americans are making up their minds which direction to go. It's still very hard. They're still talking about it. They're still working through it. We have to work through it. Anything in any country where there is a lot of chaos, and this chaos involves security, you have to be very strategic in your conversation as a country. What direction do we go? Because I'm telling you, one group will say, hey, that's it. Boom, 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 blah, 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 blah. You got a war. Are you prepared to go to war? Are you prepared for that? Because war against an enemy that has more arms than you do is foolishness. And if you're not prepared, if you haven't talked about what direction to go from your standpoint, it's a waste. It will not solve anything. That's why I'm saying that Nigerians have to be strategic. Now is not the time to sing kumbaya. It is time to sit down and have a national dialogue about which way to go. Are we separating If so, let's talk about it and make that decision. Are we not? If so, then how do we get along? But I'm telling you, Nigeria has got to strategize how to combat what's coming at them, what's happening in there.
They can't. It's, in fact, it's impossible for them to
No,
even have that dialogue.
I disagree.
You're right.
I
Well,
disagree. I disagree that anything is impossible. I
agree with
disagree.
you.
Anything
totally
is possible.
It
But
is.
you have to be strategic. Problem-based learning requires that you assess every single problem and then determine how to solve each one of those problems.
I agree.
The pros and the cons. We haven't done that. We're just going.
Let me say
the
now.
government is just going every which way.
Yeah, let me say this.
Is just going every way.
Yeah. Let me say this. You're absolutely right.
The is just going every which way. They don't have any.
Everything you're saying is okay. Let me put it this way: in a perfect world, everything you're saying is exactly what we'd like to see right now. Really.
We haven't done it though.
We haven't.
We haven't done it.
And I'll tell you why. Okay. You know, from lack of trying. Funny thing is, all the people that tried, they killed them all. But here, the only person that has succeeded in this kind of structure, you think we have problem? Do you know the problem that these people were having with Boko Haram in freaking what do you call it, Burkina Faso? Do you know the problem?
Well, there's something you don't know about. There's something you don't know about Burkina Faso.
No, let me finish. Hold on now. Hold on.
Wait a minute now. I'm going to say this.
You haven't let me finish yet.
Burkina Faso, they went out. They put people out and all of that. But they had a national dialogue with their people. How they came up, how they paid off what they owned, the loan that they owed. He had to talk to the community.
First of all, how many Christians in Burkina Faso?
Say that again?
How many Christians versus Muslims there? What's the national religion there?
They have both.
Yeah, but what's the majority over there? Like 80%.
Muslim.
Yeah, like 80%.
Yeah.
90%. Yeah, that's what it's a Muslim country. I mean, okay. But here's the point I'm trying to make. I just brought them up on the Sahel, but let me give you, here's the point I'm making. You remember Ghana was having Nigerian kind of problems, except not too much kidnapping, but the corruption and all that. And then they had problem with kidnappers, and then they had problem with armed robbers at night. People weren't going out, just like in Nigeria. They weren't traveling, they weren't safe anymore. So Rollins was jogging. He was running. He doesn't like bodyguards, so he's jogging alone. And he was stopped by those armed robbers. And they recognized who he was. And they let him go. So when he got back to the presidential, whatever, he asked about those people. So they're telling him that's the problem we're having, the insecurity, all these armed robbers and all that. So he asked them, do you know the leaders of all these armed robber groups, all these militia, all that stuff in Ghana? They said yes. He said, okay. Contact all of them. Tell them I want to talk to them. I want to have a meeting with them in like a stadium, something, open so that nobody will know. I need to talk to all these people. So all those people, they all came thinking they're going to be part of Rollins' government and he's going to do that, They all came there. Rollins asked them, so you guys are all the people that do all this stuff? They say, yeah. Guess what? Rollins had all of them arrested right there. In the hundreds, right there, and shot all of them.
But he had a conversation.
Let me finish. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm telling you. But that's why I told you about the violence thing. And let me explain it. A thief does not negotiate with you. And he said to me one day, I was driving him to Boko, cement factory. And he said to me, even a thief will pray before he steals. And if he steals successfully, he goes to church and thanks God. So your conjecture of what God is only dependent on how you feel about God. There's no science to what God is. The point is, even violence has its, divine purpose. Like an earthquake, like a hurricane. They're all violent, but they're all divine. They serve a purpose. If you're in the way, it will get you. It will get you. But it will happen because without that violent hurricane, life would not be possible. Even humans, when somebody jumps in your house and comes to rob you, to stab, to rape, what do? You're going to defend yourself. And the only way to defend yourself, you're going to resort to what?
But you did.
The point I'm making is, if we're going to do it, we have to have the national dialogue.
You have to have dialogue. You have to determine how you're going to do it.
Yeah, in the end, we have to have that dialogue. But in the end, let my people go in working. Even Martin Luther King took a bullet after he got the civil rights signed. We have a national dialogue. We will all agree, Muslims and Christians and Igbos and Hausas and Yorubas and all that we're going to come together. And that we're going to use the only weapon that can work. The same weapon that was pointed at us, we're going to turn it right back at you. That's the only thing you're going to understand. And that's the only way you're going to listen. Because if we try to negotiate, you're the one with the gun. You're going to shoot me. You're going to kidnap the girls. And next year, in 2, 3, 4 years, we'll be having the same conversation. We will have a national dialogue. But in the end, it has to be said, in the end, the gun pointing at me will be turned back at the person pointing it. Because
I don't disagree with what I'm saying, however, is nothing, violence, peace, whatever, nothing happens without a direction.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We need to talk about what's going on and what direction to go. You have to decide, not individually, because nothing can be done individually.
Yeah.
You have to, as a collective, you have to say, enough is enough. This is not going to continue to happen. This is the problem. We need to solve it. Then you have to determine what direction you have to go to solve it. Because if one group is doing their own thing and the other group is doing their own thing, it's going to be nothing but chaos and confusion. So there has to be a plan of how to manage this thing, because this cannot continue to happen to our girls. It cannot. The president of Nigeria and his cohort.
The same thing again. Next year, the same.
The president of Nigeria has got to make a decision that this cannot continue, because the people have decided that it will not continue, because the people have made a decision what to do.
I mean, it's just too much.
But it cannot be to each his own.
No.
It has to be coordinated. And when it's coordinated, it's boom, let's go. Yeah.
Because that's the only thing they'll understand. We get it coordinated.
The problem you have right now in up north is there's no coordination.
They need to.
Because there's no coordination, these people were able to march in there and take 300 girls.
Can you imagine if people had guns waiting on them when they showed up there? You think they would have kidnapped those girls?
Well, but that takes coordination. That's the point I'm making.
You're right.
The Nigerians have got to decide that enough is enough.
It's enough.
And this is what must be done. But they have to coordinate what they do. Because you can't, the reason why you have the bandits doing whatever it is they're doing is because it's not coordinated outside of them. They're just doing whatever.
The Chibok girls, you remember the bandits, after they released those girls, they let the bandits all go free, gave them money, gave them school, gave them everything.
But what did Nigerians do? We are they.
Yeah,
what
the government.
We do?
And we're back to the same problem again.
After they let them go, we did nothing.
Yeah.
We backed up.
That's the thing.
So that's what I'm saying. There's no coordination.
Yeah,
so
they
there
got
has to be
right back
a
to
national dialogue to say the Nigerian citizens are tired. We're not going to continue to live this way. There has to be a change, but the people, the citizens, have to demand that change.
Demand it, take control, man.
You have to demand it.
Anywhere you see a kidnapper, wreck them. Man.
But you cannot just do anything at random.
No,
listen.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to coordinate your actions.
You have to be
coordinated. You must.
Absolutely.
You must. You must get the, you know, the young people have to be engaged. The young people need to know that their future is rotting, and they must,
absolutely,
you know,
no
they
future.
must participate. They must. You gotta get buy-in. Otherwise, we're all doing our own thing. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. In fact, everything you have said is absolutely what needs to be done. It needs to be coordinated. But in the end, that's the end of it, because no problem has ever been solved. This kind of problem has never been solved peacefully. It's never happened. You quick turn the other cheek and see what happens. They will smack the other one and keep smacking it. Why? Because you keep turning. We just keep turning. We've been
violence
turning.
begets violence, UD.
We've been turning.
If everything is violent, then violence becomes the only way to solve things. So one
violence is not the only way to
violence.
solve things. Violence is not the only way to solve things. And you made that point clear. You're absolutely right. Violence can never be the only way to solve things.
How did our ancestors do it? How did our
ancestors protected themselves? You know, people sit around here and think that white folk just came to Africa and just collected us, right? Let South Africans tell you their own horror stories of how we stood our ground and destroyed thousands and thousands of British soldiers before they overwhelmed us with their guns, finally, with numbers and guns. But with our bow and arrows and spears, if we were not violent, they would have had an easier time. But like you said, we coordinated the violence ourselves to defend ourselves from them. If we had equal violence as they had, they never would have colonized us or enslaved us. So violence does have its place when you're fighting for your freedom, because nobody gonna give it to you unless you grab it, but it has to be coordinated, because the civil rights movement was coordinated. People just didn't march up.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, no, I agree with
you. Whatever
decision. I'm saying that coordination must involve turning that gun back, because every revolution has involved coordination and turning it back on your tormentor. There has never been anybody who negotiated their freedom. It's never happened. It never happened in the beginning. It ain't gonna happen now. But if we coordinate it, then sustain it. Hitler was able to fail. Hitler failed because they turned a gun on his behind. The Muslims turned it on him. The Christians turned it on him. The Buddhists turned it on him. The Catholics turned it on him. The traditionals turned it on him because he had his gun on all of them. And the only way, when they negotiated with Hitler in good terms, coordinated negotiation by the West, Hitler felt they were weak and then invaded Poland. First the Sudetenland and there. Violence has its place. But like you said, very well put, it has to be coordinated. If it was coordinated, we will still have Patrice Lumumba alive today. If it was coordinated, Stephen Biko would still be here. If it was coordinated, Kwame Nkrumah wouldn't have lost his seat. Okay? Coordination is the key. But in the end, I even said it. You cannot hold a people at gunpoint that don't want to be held. It's in its book, African Guardianism. It's just the way it is.
You see, the reason why, the reason why we are struggling as a people is because mentally we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, our minds don't belong to us.
Yep.
We profess whatever is brought to our shores.
Absolutely.
And we take it and run with it.
Yep.
Right? So mentally, we're not prepared for anything. So it's time, when you talk about coordination, you talk about some of this nonsense you're believing in, you got to let it go for your own survival.
Yep.
The religious front has got to go.
Got to.
That's coordination. We need to know that those things that have been brought to our shores are not designed for our good. And as long as we're embracing those things, we're not aware of what's going on around us, and they can come in and do all of that. So you got to get your mind straight. Get your mind out of heaven.
Yep.
Come down to earth.
Yep.
Know that the heaven can be created by you. Know that Nigeria can be that heaven if you get your head out of the clouds and do whatever is necessary to get it where it needs to go. But we got to have that dialogue with people. Nigerians have to come together. Now, let me tell you something. If the whole of Nigeria cannot come together, then let the eastern part of Nigeria talk to each other, coordinate what happens in the east, run an efficient east. You understand? Run the east efficiently.
Yep.
Coordinate everything properly so that nobody can come from anywhere and disorganize you. Even the people up north, they need to coordinate with each other because they are overwhelmed because of all these foreigners coming in, bringing in their trucks, their guns and everything. But they themselves are waiting for an imaginary God to intervene and help them. That's it. Heaven helps those who help themselves. So if you want to find that heaven, you got to help yourself. Then you see heaven. But if you're still waiting for it to happen, it's not going to happen. So coordination means that Nigerians have got to say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. It can't continue.
That's it.
And this is how we're going to go as a
collective. Draw the line. Draw the line.
Problem.
Yeah, draw the line. And anybody who crosses that line, that's it. Draw the line. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, we can no longer. We cannot react with emotions. Yeah, we have to react with our heads, our minds now. Yeah, because they have worked on emotions, they worked on our minds. We need to reclaim the mind. That's what Stephen Biko said.
Thank you.
You know, the most powerful tool, the tool they have been using to work against us is our minds. Our people are asleep at the wheel. The car is rolling down the hill, but they're sleeping and snoring and saying, Lord, help this car move where it's supposed to go. Listen, if you're sleeping and expecting God to turn that car around, you're going down the ditch.
That's
you. So you have to know exactly where you want to go and then know how you are going to organize it and make sure that you come out smelling good and you come out successful. What's going on in Nigeria right now, I'm afraid to say, is that most of us don't see it as a Nigerian problem. We see it as a Muslim problem.
Yeah.
Then some of us don't see it as a Muslim problem. We see it as a Christian problem.
Just like over here, they did.
Coordinated. We don't see it as a Nigerian issue. It's a Nigerian issue. I don't care your tribe. I don't care your religion. If you're Nigerian, anything that happens to a Nigerian
issue until it wasn't
our concern. There are some people, let me tell you, there are some individuals that I talked to about what happened to these girls. Well, you know how these people, how's that people up? These are little girls.
Nonchalant, like they don't give a damn.
Like they don't care. Because we're divided, we're not coordinated.
By religion.
We're divided. So we don't see anything happening to the Igbos as something that we should fight for. If you're Yoruba, if you're Hausa, we're very tribalistic.
But you call yourself Nigerian.
Ethnocentric. We've gotten so bad, and we didn't used to be that way. This is what havoc religion has.
I mean, got us messed up so bad. Now we're kidnapping little girls and all that stuff. No,
things are happening. Things are happening to us, and we see it, we hear it, but we don't want to know because that's Igbo, that's Yoruba, that's Hausa. You're here in America. Some people say, "Oh, this is the East. I mean, these are blue state. This is a red state." What kind of nonsense is that? You are the Americans. Whatever happens in the South should concern you. Whatever happens up north should concern you. But the politicians have warped our minds to think, oh, you know, they are the Southerners, and you forget. That's the red state. You forget. They are Americans. Oh, that's the blue state. You forget. They're the Americans. That's the same thing going on in Nigeria right now.
It was a Mexican problem. It was a Mexican problem until it wasn't. Now everybody realized, oh, it's an American problem. It's not a Mexican thing. We need each other. Now they found out we need each other. Same thing in Nigeria. We need each other. And until one day you wake up and one of us stand around, that's when you'll say, you know, we needed these Igbos. Oh, we needed these Yorubas. Oh, we needed these Hausas. Okay? You don't know what you got until you don't have it anymore. It's no
Yes.
when you don't have it anymore. That's when you start going, oh, if I had known, which is always the last thing you say. But when somebody's telling you what you need to do, you don't want to listen to it. You want to
Yeah.
defend your ignorance and act like somebody's attacking you when they're telling you something for your own good. Like we've been doing on this program, we've been doing it with Cheerism, Gordonism, the Bicos and the Ahines and the Marcus Garveys. They've all talked about this kind of stuff, but we didn't listen. And because we didn't listen, we end up with the Chibok girls. Then we end up with these people being kidnapped. Then we end up with all the chaos and the Sudan and all this stuff that you see wrong with Africa today because we didn't pay attention to people like us. All right? I'm to my Ogele, me, Ahai, Marcus Garvey, all of us. We've been in the forefront talking about it. So I'm going to toot my horn and say, if you're only listening to us, you will fail in everything we do as people of African ancestry. We will fail when we stop being Pan-African in our thinking. And until we realize that, it ain't happening.
Thank you. It doesn't matter your religion. You're going to die anyway.
Yep.
You know, there's none of us that's going to come out of this alive.
Nobody.
No matter your religion. But if you want, as a collective, that's, you know what? That's what I love about the principles of Kwanzaa. Really. That's what I love about it. Unity is number one. They said it. Unity.
That's it.
We cannot survive fighting each other.
Pan-Africanism, unity.
Over something that's foreign to us.
Yeah.
Over something that's foreign to us. The only way we are going to survive is to stop looking at ourselves from the lenses of foreign influence. Because religion, all these religions that are coming in, now we've got every religion pouring back into Africa. And we're so confused. So while we're fighting each other, we're not paying attention to our unity anymore. You know, now we got all these people who are supposedly Jewish now, Jewish black people.
How embarrassing.
So they've got their own religion now. Okay. Now we've got Buddhism now is flourishing. Okay. So now we got black Buddhists, and then we got Christians, we got Muslims. It goes on and on and on. And while we are so busy embracing and dancing to the tune and music of others, they are kidnapping our girls, they're killing our girls, they're doing all these things. And what are we doing? That's not my concern. That's Hausa people. Whatever is going on in the Sudan, that's not my business. That's the Sudanese. What's going on in the Congo, I'm not Congolese. Whatever is going on the continent of Africa and people that look like you, you should be concerned.
Yes, ma'am.
It should be of concern to you, because I'm telling you, people don't look at us differently. When somebody looks at me, he doesn't know if I'm Nigerian. They don't know. They see a black woman, period. They don't know if I'm Ugandan or whatever. You see, we need to respect and honor, and if anything happens to one of us, I went to an event yesterday, UD, and it was a gathering of African American women. I'm so glad that I went. Yeah. When I was telling them what was going on in up north Borno, these women didn't care that it was in Nigeria.
Yeah, look at that.
They say, "How do I help? How do we help you?" Because they have Pan-African
mindset.
thinking.
That's it.
That's their mindset. They wanted to know how do we help? How do we help? Because what's going on in Nigeria concerns them. And as I say, what's going on here concerns me. It should concern us. Us Africans, when we come here, we should be just as concerned about the African American community, what's going on in their lives.
Yep.
Just as they show concern for us. Pan-Africanism doesn't end in Africa. It crosses boundaries. It crosses the ocean, right?
Yep.
So in Africa and in diaspora, we have to work. We have to look at each other as one. We must. So what's going on right now, if it's not coordinated, it will not work. We need to have, like you said, Pan-African mindset. Help each other. Support each other. We need to be about us. I'm not concerned about what Europeans are doing. That's their business. Yep. I'm only concerned, how do we help our people survive? The world
Because
is a Serengeti. I say it all the time.
yeah, you're absolutely
Only
right.
survival of the fittest. And
Yeah.
if we're not supporting each other, if we're not interested in the success of each other, we're all going to fail together. Now, the story that you told about the Rawlings,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he did
Yeah.
what he had to do, but he coordinated it.
Oh yeah.
He coordinated
He
it.
planned it out
He
real
knew where
good.
he was going. But he coordinated. He knew what
Yeah.
was, you know, how, what has to be in place. What
Because
steps.
he knew that from his investigation, what he found, he knew he couldn't negotiate with those people. He just knew it. So he decided, I'm going to coordinate this. I'm going to get some people together for them to understand what is going to happen and what we need to do to
Yeah,
get
he
rid
did
of it.
do that.
And
That's
the only
right.
way to get rid of it is to turn that gun back on those people, because people can't even go outside.
Because
Clubs
they've
were
been
not even
killing
open.
people.
Yeah, clubs don't even open at night because of these criminals. Business is closed by 6, everybody gone. So it's like, no, you got to get rid of it. We've tried to tell them, but they ain't listening. They don't care. So either we turn a blind eye and continue to, how do you say, rape the country's resources while the criminals are making everybody's lives miserable, so that we're concentrating on the criminals and nobody is looking at us losing the country. But he decided, no, we've decided we don't want these armed robbers. We don't want these pirates and criminals in the streets anymore, harassing people. We're going to get rid of them. And we're not going to do it by asking them, do you mind leaving kindly? Please, you're hurting us. Do you mind? Maybe we take it up to the imam or the pastor, or maybe we can have somebody representative from France or the United States come and negotiate with us. Then 10 years from now, we're still negotiating. No, you got to go. Okay? Bam! Out. That's it. So we need to coordinate in Africa, because what happens in Sudan can happen in Senegal. We've been looking at the Sudan genocide, all that. Oh, it's a Sudan problem. They ask you on the country.
There it is right there.
It's a Sudan problem. All of a sudden, 300 girls in Nigeria kidnapped. Oh, it's not a Sudan problem anymore, is it? It
Yeah,
can happen
well,
in
you know,
Cameroon. It
well,
can
I
happen.
had, like I said, I had somebody I was talking to about it,
Yeah.
and they said, oh, they're Hausa girls. So
what? Next thing you know,
they're
you'll be Igbo
Nigerian.
girl.
They're
Yeah,
girls.
Nigerians. No
Listen,
different
I don't
from
care.
me.
I don't care if it's Malayan, if the kids are from Mali. I don't care if they're from Senegal. I don't care if they're from America. 300 girls of any group is
Girl,
wrong.
I cry for
Period.
Haiti. I cry for Haiti every day, because Haiti ain't got no government. You know who runs Haiti? You know who runs Haiti? Haiti is run by gangs. Different gangs own
Oh
it.
yeah,
They don't have a stable government. It's just gangs running the place, right? Now, we understand how Haiti got there. We know what the United States did, because they were defending France. We know that the first democracy in the Western Hemisphere was sabotaged by the US. We know all that. And I'm sure the Haitians know all that. So if the Haitians know all that and want to solve their problem, it's not incumbent on them to say, you know what, we know what these people did to us. And we were the first Western Hemisphere of country to be free, and we defeated the French. We know who we are. So no matter what they're trying to do to us, we're going to come together and coordinate ourselves and make Haiti. You know, Haiti has sugar cane. Haiti, they got sugar cane, and I don't know how much of a tourist place is, because they have too many seismic activities. So they have earthquakes and stuff like that. So I really don't know about that. But Haiti could have fixed itself. It's never impossible. Just like people in Eastern Nigeria, we could coordinate all 5 states, develop an economy that can rival Dubai, right? And do all that stuff. And have people from all over the world come to Eastern Nigeria. Look at us as a model of development and Pan-African thought mindset, and how Black people should govern themselves. We could have done all that. We had the ability to do it. We had the information to do it. But we were blinded by Christianism. While up north, they were blinded by Islam. But they had the solution. They were all there fighting for independence against the British with Nnamdi Azikiwe, with Mbonu Ojike, with Ahaike Okonyoha. We had great people like Okpara that created an economic blueprint for Eastern Nigeria, and everybody was looking at it. Eastern Nigeria paid its own money share into the Nigerian pot. We had our own economy in Eastern Nigeria, and we outproduced every other part of Nigeria. We did. Administratively, the West was in charge with Awolowo and all that. They were known for administrative stuff. But the bottom line is, when you coordinate and you come together and you understand that only when you work together, when you practice umoja, right? The Kwanzaa principle that you just talked about, OKDB. When we're unified, then Pan-Africanism becomes a possibility, because that's going to lead to, number one, unity. And unified body leads to nation formation. And nation, when it's formed, needs to be managed. You learn about nation building. Then once you form it, you build it. And when you build it, you learn to manage it. From uniting to forming to building to managing. We follow this process of coordination. We agree on this process. Africa will change. Nigeria will change. Eastern Nigeria will change. We won't be worried about these kidnappings and all that, because the bottom line is simply this, as you mentioned earlier. When you have security and you have infrastructure, anything is possible. When people have economic opportunities to do better and have the political power to be involved, it's difficult for you to have bandits running around kidnapping people. 300. You might kidnap one rich person's daughter or son or wife or child or whatever. But 300 just for the heck of it, because you can? No, that shows a level of government, how do you say, I won't even say involvement, it just smells so much of a coordinated conspiracy by those people that are supposed to protect you to hurt you. To hurt you. And how long is it going to take you to step back and go, enough is enough? Enough is enough. We need to coordinate, come together, bring our hands out, put it around the necks of those people that wish us harm, and choke them out. Because in every religion, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Chiist, whether you're a Hindu, it doesn't matter. In the end, all the gods result to violence to solve problems. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know, here's a little something, and this is a question that I have for the listeners today. The head of security for Nigeria. Now, listen carefully. I want you guys to type this and give me your thoughts on this. I have no preconceived notions about this, so perhaps you can fill in the blanks for me. At the time that this is happening in Nigeria, the head of security is meeting with Hegseth, okay, the head of the U.S. military. You know who that is. Now, this is happening to Muslim girls, but he's here to talk to them about Christian. I mean, it's happening to Christian girls, okay, in a Catholic school in up north, right? What do you guys think about leaving the country, not consulting with the president, with Nigerian military, how to coordinate finding these people with our own military? They are in America, to ask America to bring its forces to Nigeria to solve this problem. What are your thoughts on that? Just just a question I have.
I mean, the same people that got their jack boots on your throat, you're the same people you're asking to. I mean, they're the reason why you got the problem you have in the first place. And they've made it clear to you that their interest is in your destruction and control of your resources. And they'll go through whatever manner that is necessary to do it. The civil war in Nigeria, they left puppets in place to continue to serve them and do whatever. I mean, it's so ludicrous to me that the president of a country, in his mind, thinks that he doesn't have the ability to solve the problems within his own borders. And he needs people to supply you with the same arms that I'm sure your military has. But half of your generals, when they get the military budget, they spend it and put the money in their pocket. And instead
And I
of
think that's what
instead of buying a tank,
is saying.
instead of buying a tank, you go out there and go and buy a Toyota, then gin it up to look like a tank. But underneath, it's just a freaking Toyota. It's not a tank. Okay, it's so embarrassing that, again, this slave mentality, this colonial mentality of thinking, this Stockholm syndrome, that thinking that your kidnapper, just because he gave you lunch and then starve you while you were being kidnapped, makes you forget that he kidnapped you in the first place. That's who you go to for help. That's my thought.
Here's this is the Judy. Here is a comment from a listener. I really don't like how some of these sources emphasizing Christianity as if that's the only thing people should focus on. That's right. The problem in Nigeria is not just religion. It's not. It's poverty. Okay? The government is not doing well by the people. People are hungry. You know, unemployment is very high. All of these things lead, and of course, the fact that people are using the insecurity as a means of making money. You know?
We talked about the Pan-African thing already. We've talked about it ad nauseum, you know, so we just...
What he's saying is the focus of foreign interests coming to Nigeria to help to free Christians is because that's not the only problem in Nigeria. That's not a problem.
Exactly. It's not.
That's not the only problem. Here's another comment by, this is, hi, Dr. Simri. This is, hello, Daniel. I think it's a trap to have the U.S. to assist military. I think there should be a coordinated African military effort from the Sahel countries. Thank you. That's where we should be going.
I mean, that's what we're talking about, man.
Why are we over here? Why did you not go to other
and check this out. Check this out, Ogele. What Daniel just said. Check this out. I think it's a trap to have the U.S. to assist militarily. I think there should be a coordinated African military effort. Now, the word military is violent, right? So, in the end, what you brought up, the coordinating and the turning back, we should do it. We don't need somebody pointing a gun at us. We don't need them to point it at themselves. We need to point our gun back at them. Because the guy pointing a gun at you is never going to point the gun at themselves. You can't ask America to help you militarily because they will agree. But the motive behind them agreeing is for your own destruction and to get to your resources and to destabilize you. So you can't ask him, like she said. We got to be the ones to coordinate our own military and point our own gun at the problem.
That's right. The foreigners, see, this is the point I'm making. These people know what they're doing. They're coordinating all this stuff against you. You got to coordinate yourself so you know how to fight this. I also think the terrorists are supported by foreign entities from Europe to Middle East who seek to destabilize the region to gain resources. Yes. I mean, you know, what else needs to be said? Like, you know, that is so true.
Yeah, look at Mali.
You got Mali. Yeah. Mali, Niger, Burkina booted Europeans out. This is how they are making their way in. They know Nigeria will fold and give them hello. There you go. Right there.
Did I say that? Did we say it?
The point we're trying to make is you can't fight them if you're not coordinated. You can't fight them by just fighting. You have got to understand the problem. You have to understand the problem. People don't understand that this is the problem. That's why your security guy has gone to come ask.
I don't know, man. I've just had enough, man. It's just like, you know, it's like, to me, it's not even us talking about it. It's like, it's so obvious. And it ain't like they've never heard it before. But lack of courage and this thing about this economic way of living your life where money is everything. It doesn't matter how you get that money. But money is everything. People worship that money. Oh, the armed robber is a chief in Nigeria now. You know, I mean, the money thing blinds everybody to their moral responsibility, to their citizenry, to their citizenry. They don't have that, and
So
that is
did you pick up what she said though? Did you
yeah.
pick up this here? Listen to this. Mali, Niger, Burkina, booted Europeans out. This is how they are making their way in. They
Through
know
Nigeria
Nigeria
by
will
saying
fold.
that is
Nigeria will
Muslims or
fold.
whatever. Yeah,
Nigeria is folding.
we talked about it. You and I last week. We talked about it. Remember, we were
That's
saying
how
that
they're able to come in.
yeah, it's
So
just a reason for them to get the oil and then to get to Burkina Faso through that Sambisa forest because it borders Niger and Burkina Faso, Nigeria. And that is just their way to come up there and destabilize that whole area. And Tuareg will forget about building this country and start fighting to defend the country from terrorists that the West is going to make sure overwhelms that region. Plus their own military. They will bomb targets that were never intended to be bombed and say, oh, it was a mistake. It was a wrong information. And we dropped the bomb in this complex that, you know, once that complex is destroyed, is going to really, how you say, cripple a government or at least create some difficulty in running the country that you'll be too busy trying to put out the fires as opposed to building. That's what they want to do, so that we will perpetually keep putting up fires in Nigeria and Africa, while from the back they're taking our resources while we're choking each other to death.
JVST says, I think what's so frustrating is that we've seen this movie in over and over again. After a while, you get bored of it, and then it gets annoying, and then you get frustrated. As I said earlier, thank you so much for that commentary. As I said earlier, we are just so focused on everything else than ourselves.
Yep.
So we're weak, we are frustrated, yes. Then we praying to an imaginary God that there to step in, and we don't do it ourselves. And those people who know that, just like Danielle said, will fold. America, Nigeria will fold.
Yep.
We're folding already.
Look
but
at
those who stick together, those who understand that we have to solve our own problems ourselves, are doing better than those of us who feel, oh, let's go somewhere else and get the solution. There are 10 ways to solve every problem. Nigeria needs to learn problem-based learning. Find what the problems are, what's causing it, who's causing it, how to solve it, what happens when we don't solve it, and we evaluate what we apply whatever it is we select to do. Otherwise, today is 300 girls that are taken. Tomorrow it may be 500. It may be 1,000. Who knows? And then to make matters worse, as I indicated earlier, is this whole thing about it's not my business because it's not my tribe.
Yeah. Or my
we
religion.
need to get out of that. This is survival now.
Of black folks.
It's survival of people of color. I'm not sitting here to talk about it. I'm just talking about how do we survive. We need to know what the problem is. We say it all the time. The most powerful tool in the hands of an oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. When the oppressor convinces you that you can't solve your own problems, they will come in, guns blazing, to solve it.
And they will
and
know
only
the
God
difference
knows what comes of that.
They will know the difference between Christian and Muslim. They're just going to see a black person and the bombs will be dropping on everybody.
It's annoying because Nigeria will put claims to be the African giant, but we won't lead like an African. Yeah, thank you.
That's
if you're going to claim to be the giant of Africa, then act like it.
Remember what you said in the beginning of this program? We talked about it. We are successful outside of Africa. We're mayors and we build businesses, even outside our own. But when we come to our own, that we're supposed to put that same effort that we use to build the stuff outside, we can't seem to put that same effort inside. That's a problem. A big problem where I score highest in grades. I build businesses. I'm a mayor. I build NASA. I'm over at Google. We can do it all in every area of human endeavor.
Yes.
We can only do it outside of Africa. You look good, but your mom is naked in the village. That is the legacy of colonization and slavery. That's what we are today. Declaring.
Thank you, Dibia Yudi. We have come to the end of our program. Yudi, you were on fire today. Thank you so much.
I was frustrated with these girls. I'm hurt.
I know.
It's painful for me because I have a daughter and a bunch of sisters.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and in your comments. We really appreciate your comments. Just so powerful. And we as African people, we are interested in our well-being. We are much, contrary to what people think. And that is that all Africans can do for themselves. Yes, we can. We want to be allowed to do it. And if we're not allowed to do it, then we must be vocal enough to say, okay, it's time for us to take over this ship. It is our responsibility to take care of our own. We've got the capacity.
Yes, we do.
We've got the resources. We need to apply those resources to our own needs. And we need to look to ourselves to save ourselves. Nobody can do it for us. So when I talk about coordination, I mean we everywhere. Black people all around the world. It's your survival. What can you do? How can you participate to save yourself, to save us? It is our job. Nobody can do it but us. So thank you all. Now I'm wearing these glasses. I just wanted to do it because I have something in my eye and I didn't want you guys to see it. So I'm not trying to be cool.
I don't have black, but we're almost coordinated.
It's a dark day. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so appreciated to have you here today, and I look forward to the next week. Not this coming Sunday, the next Sunday. And happy Family Day, happy Native Americans Day, whatever you call it. Enjoy your meal. Don't overeat next week, obviously. Until we meet again, I thank you all, and you take care of yourselves. And so it is. Thank you.
Sekudala sisebenzele mva yelele kukade sihleli singezinto sekudala